Good evening, YouTube. Yeah, I'm out a little bit late. You'll hear a bunch of noise in the background. But I never want to forsake my promise to my YouTube fans that I'll be putting out a video Tuesday and Thursday. Now, today's topic is going to be a real simple one. We're going to be talking about dealing with failure. Failure is something that's inevitable. Failure helps us grow. It helps us become stronger. That is why I believe we should not look at failure as something to be sad about. If anything, we should be happy about it because we know in the end, it's going to be best for us to keep progressing and grow stronger. So without further ado, let's get into step number one. Step one of dealing with failure. I'd probably say it's the most painful part. You actually got to sit down and analyze what went terribly wrong. Just like when I was speaking there. Words can be hard. But yeah, you got to analyze what on earth went wrong. So when you figure that out, it just gets rid of all the problems you originally had, because you'll be like, okay, this is where I went wrong when I studied the math problem. So on the next test, I'll be able to ace it because now I understand this part. You know, it's a matter of taking those steps. And one thing that could always lead us to failure too when we analyze, we also got to think about where our headspace was. If we were too cocky in the long run, being like, yeah, I'm going to pass no matter what, I don't need to do anything, and then you end up failing, that's on you. And you're going to have to swallow that tough pill and realize, yeah, I messed up because I thought I was, a meal and a bag of chips, when in reality, I was nothing but, the carrots on the side. Now then, step number two, because we're gonna keep this math test idea, right? Step number two, and this is when we get happy again. What we need to do is we need to get some wins. No matter how big, no matter how small. I just need to win something so then I can get that winning mentality back. Let me challenge some fat person to a sprint that I know I'm gonna beat. There's my next win. Then let me challenge the next person to a race. There's another win. Let me play a couple games. There's a win. Because if you play a couple online games, you're at least gonna win at some point. What's important is just to get a win. Because what that does is it gets you back in the winning mentality. It gets you back thinking, okay, if I can just win this, I can do anything. It creates that, it's almost like delusional in a sense, but there's a healthy kind of delusion because it'll help you keep going. Now then, to number three, because now we got our wins. So let's get back to facing reality because we failed that daggone math test. So, step number three, plan it out. Yeah, so here I am. I'm back. Yeah, when it comes to planning things out, it is so important to get down to the nittiest and grittiest detail. Because when we plan things out, what it does is it helps us be able to come up with an idea that we can then perform to excellence according to that plan. Because, again, I failed the daggone math test. I was so cocky that I thought I was going to pass it without studying whatsoever. So, what could my plan be? My plan could be every day leading forward to the next math test that I need to pass because my ego depends on it. I am going to study for 2 hours a day. I will hire a tutor. I will get a friend to do flashcards. There's so many things I could do. And it's all about sacrifice. I gotta be able to sacrifice for it. I gotta be able to sacrifice time, sacrifice all sorts of things, because what's important is to stick to the plan. You need to stick to the plan. And step number four, I'd probably say this is the most important one after all of it. It's simple. Execute. Because what is a plan without execution? It is nothing but an idea. So, when we finally execute, we're executing our plan to excellence. And when you're so confident, because honestly, with me failing the test, that's just me being cocky there. I'm thinking I can do it all myself. I'm thinking I don't need to do anything. But with this plan, What a plan does is it gets you familiar, it gets you practice, and what does practice build? Practice builds confidence. Because just like muscle memory, there's also mind memory. And you'll be able to, once you take that test again, you'll be like, yeah, this is a piece of cake because I'm so confident in it and I'm going to pass. And you better pass if you studied for all that long, because then your sacrifice will be for naught. And then if you do fail again, what is it? Let me draw this. Here, we'll call that's my little recycle symbol, okay? We just do this all over again. But if we do succeed, then what we do is move on. We move on to the next best thing, because that's what ambition is. I always saw ambition as you're going through a tunnel, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're running and running and running towards it, and then when you finally get to it, all it is just another tunnel. And it may sound sad, but before you move on, what I'd at least recommend is doing something to celebrate that win. Because then we are going through the next tunnel, and if you fail, you fail, boo-hoo, move on, because that's what builds strength, going through adversity. But at times you'll be able to think back to when you actually succeeded at what you worked so daggone hard for. Guys, that's the video. Deal with failure in the most healthy way possible. You do not deal with failure by, taking a shot of whiskey. You don't deal with it by, lighting up the joint or lighting up a cigarette. What you need to do is analyze, get some wins, plan it out, and execute. It is that simple, because anything can bring you short-term pleasure, but this will bring you long-term joy. That's the video. Subscribe, share it to a friend if they need it, and remain absolute in all your ways possible.